Burlington firefighters, police officers, town employees, and residents gathered on the town common on Tuesday to remember the victims of the attacks of September 11, 2001, and to pay respect to the brave first responders who made the ultimate sacrifice attempting to rescue people from the smoldering World Trade Center and Pentagon on that tragic and painful day that so deeply touched all Americans. They also paid homage to the local victims that are forever remembered with a memorial on the town common at the base of the American flag that was raised to half-mast. Town leaders explained why, even 17 years after the attacks, it is important to remember that Tuesday in 2001 and all those that were lost.
I mean, September 11th affected us all. I can remember it, even though it was 17 years ago, I remember it as like it was yesterday. Beautiful sunny day. I'll never forget, I went down to a local barbershop, got my hair cut, and by the time I came home, I saw what was going on the TV, and like every other American, I was glued to the TV for the remainder of the day. So, you know, public safety, it's a real important date. As I mentioned in this ceremony, we lost a great number of our members, both police and fire. We really feel strong about doing a dedication ceremony every September 11th.
I think it's important that we remember because so many people were affected. We're not talking about just the brave souls that we honored here today, the public service personnel. A lot of innocent souls were killed. People died after the fact, as you heard here also today. Plus all the people who were connected to somebody somehow. It's important to remember them and that this moment not pass, because it was a defining moment like Pearl Harbor for that generation of people, to remember what was done to us.
I mean, obviously that day was horrific, and just it's important to remember it because of the innocent lives that were lost, but also the responders that made the ultimate sacrifice, the firefighters, the police officers. You know, it's just, we should remember it. It was, you know, one of the most horrific days in our history, in our nation's history. So it's important to remember the sacrifices that were made and, again, the lives that were lost.
The ceremony was brief but full of meaning. For starters, it was done in front of the town's 9/11 memorial that features 2 train rails from the subway under the World Trade Center. There was also a tolling of the bell, a traditional act done in the wake of the passing of a firefighter.
Tolling of the bells is something that we do in the fire service. It means, you know, coming home. At the end of every alarm, the shift command will say, you know, strike the box out or all out. Signifies the end of the call. In the fire service, when we have a loss of life, this is typically done where we toll the bells, and its significance that the firefighter is going home.
Finally, with nearly 2 decades passed since the event, it is important for those who lived through it to keep the memory alive for the younger generation.
We need to keep this memory alive, because I've got guys working in the fire department right now that were little kids and, you know, 4, 5, 6 years old at the time when this happened, and they don't have the physical connection that our older guys do, and, you know, we're retiring, so, you know, it's important to keep that memory alive.
From the Burlington Town Common, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Halsford.